And do I look at you or I look at the camera?
It don't matter.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not even going to cut it. I'm just going to post what's there. So, always forget to do my intro. Say, welcome back to the Coach Dooley's List interview series. I'm Billy Dooley, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Coach Jason Campbell at Lassiter High School. He's been the softball coach here for the past 13 years, and we're going to talk to him about softball coaching and just everything that he does here at Lassiter. So, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, sir.
I know we get here and most people don't realize that we get here and we were going to start 30 minutes ago, and you were cutting the grass last week and the mower broke and you had to fix it.
That's part of the job. That's jack of all trades when you're a high school coach.
Oh, yeah.
Of any sort.
So save you money too as well. So, well, Coach, just again, thank you, but just kind of tell us a little bit about your coaching journey, where you started, how you ended up here at Lassiter.
I started coaching when I got out of college in 1994, and then from there, I was in Alabama, and I started out as a high school baseball coach.
Right.
Started out as a JV coach first year, and then I was a head baseball coach the second year. Then I took another job, ended up being a JV coach for another 4 years. So I stayed in Alabama 6 years, and moved over to Georgia in 2002, and coached baseball the first year. And then from there, I was asked to be an assistant softball coach. I didn't take the job. I didn't know anything about softball, never heard about softball, especially fast pitch. And that slow pitch was where I came from. So after the second year, I said, I'll give it a shot. So I was an assistant coach over at McMurtrey for Cheryl Fowler. And then Cheryl didn't want to do it anymore, retired. So I took over as a head softball coach. So that was my first year it was at McMurtrey in 2004. Went to Hillgrove from there. Stayed at Hillgrove for 6 years, coached baseball and softball for 1 year, and then I never coached baseball again up until 2 years ago. So I've been coaching softball in Georgia for 23 years. I've been coaching high school sports, general baseball, softball. Like I was a cross-country coach at one time and a wrestling coach. So I've done it all. I was a football coach as well. So when you're a young coach, you kind of do what you can to keep your job. But fell in love with softball. Been doing it for 23 years, been a head coach for 21 or 22 of those, and haven't looked back.
Yeah, and I think we find a lot in softball that there are coaches who do baseball, do other sports, and the ones when they do join softball, they tend to love it, and sometimes the other stuff takes a back door. So what do y'all do in your program that you like to think sets y'all apart from others, or what is Lassiter softball known for?
I don't know that we do anything different than anybody else. We have high standards. We practice on 6 days a week if possible. We'll give them Fridays over. I took a note out of Bill Batchelor's playbook and haven't practiced on Fridays in the last 6 years.
The girls are thankful for that.
The girls are very thankful for that. And since then, and I don't know if it contributes to it, but we've been more successful over the last 6 years than we were the previous 7 years. Anytime you can give kids in the state of Georgia time off as far as softball during your season, it's beneficial.
Absolutely.
They come out of travel ball, they're burnt out. They've been going since February. So I think over the past 6, 7, 8 years, I've given them more time off during the season, which I think is more beneficial to us. I don't know that everybody does that, but that's something we've done. I know in 2020 when we had COVID around, we got shut down for 2 weeks. We were 500 team up until that point. We were early in the season, but we went on a run and maybe lost 2 games the rest of the year and ended up winning the state championship. So from that point on, I was like, you know what, 2 weeks off was good for us. So I don't know if that sets us apart, but it has been beneficial for us. We practice, we want to play like we practice. So we get out there and we're hard at it for an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. I try not to go over that. If we're giving effort for an hour and 45, then they're tired. It's time to go home. And then we'll just pick back up where we left off the next day.
And I remember when Coach Batchelor said that, a lot of people looked around and said they couldn't do that. My last 2 years, we somewhat did it. We gave them off. I actually sent my coaches home on Fridays a lot of times. We'd hit for 30 minutes and go home, turn the music on, just have fun. And I know a lot of times you hear teams get to Columbus and they will say afterwards, we were tired. You know, and it's not because of the 2 or 3 days of softball. They do that all the time. I think it's because of the grind throughout the year. So, no, absolutely, and I love that. So, what's your favorite coaching story? I mean, you've done this for a long time. You know, it could be a favorite player. You know, could something happen on the field?
I've got a lot. I mean, you know, I look back and I had a kid that played for us as a freshman, was not very good, just to be quite honest with you, and she quit after her freshman year. And then she had her reasons, and the reasons weren't related to coaching and any of that. I think her reasons were personal, and so I gave her a year and never didn't go up to her and ask her if she wanted to come back out. But I saw her at the end of her sophomore year in the hallways, and she had grown about 6-7 inches, and so I asked her, I said, well, you think you might want to come back out? She goes, you know, I'll think about it. She continued playing travel ball. Well, she came back out and that spring to try out, and then I saw her throw over on the turf, and she was pitching. And I came back over here to my coaching staff, and I said, we're going to win a state championship with her. And
you can tell sometimes.
we won 2 state championships with her.
Yeah.
She had grown that much mentally, physically. As a person, she ended up being our team captain, and ever since her senior year, I think the kids behind her kind of looked at her and saw what a leadership was like.
Oh, yeah.
So that, you know, that's one of my favorite turnaround stories. You know, I've got, you know, fun stories and this, that, and the other, but winning state championships, you can't beat it. You've been there, you know what it's like.
It's fun.
And when you win that last game of the year, it's a lot of fun. This year we came up 1 game short, but taking a team full of freshmen and sophomores and doing what we did, I thought was, and with a pitcher that was not an overpowering pitcher, I thought that was a lot of fun. Regardless of win or loss, you know, wins and losses, that was a lot of fun watching them progress.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think going back to your player, too, I actually talked on the phone earlier to a coach whose son was playing Division I football, didn't put in the work, took some time away. Now he's, you know, could possibly be on the draft board and stuff next year. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, stepping away lets you realize what's important. So, you know, what advice would you give to a assistant coach or a young one in college who's thinking about becoming a head coach? What's something that they need to know?
Well, me being old school, I'm 54 years old. I've been in coaching for this is my 30th year. There's been a lot of change in young men and women coming out of school and getting into the profession. And I don't know if I was the same way when I came out, but I just remember putting in the extra time.
Yep.
I knew what my goals were. I knew I wanted to be a head coach. I played college baseball, so I kind of had a feeling of what the game was like. I didn't know what the coaching aspect was like. So I had some good mentors. David Joyner over at McMurtrey, fantastic mentor. He taught me a lot about field work and, you know, and just running a program. And I didn't know at that point it involved that much time. As much time as I put in the first 6-7 years, I had to change my ways. So if I had some advice to a young coach coming out, and if you want to be a head coach, you have to put in the time. You don't have to just know the game. You've got, you know, if you want respect around the state, you want respect within your community, you want respect within your team, you got to keep a good field. You got to, you know, you got to run the program like you run a business, and hold to your beliefs. And you know, that's my number one advice, is to work hard, continue to work hard, and when you feel like that you don't want to work hard, it's time for you to get out.
I agree. And like you said, hold to your beliefs. I think it's your program. You run it the way, and if it doesn't work out, you either go somewhere else or you don't do it. But yeah, I think that you have to do that.
Absolutely.
And two, speaking of the field, and I'll show you all a picture of it afterwards, your field is beautiful.
Thank you.
It always is. I got lucky a couple of years ago to come over here and play it. I've never been here, and it is immaculate. And it's all due to you working on that mower too. So now we always do this, you know, for Coach Dooley's list, you know, trying to get the word out there to coaches and, you know, about vendors that you've worked with that you really like. And that's the whole idea behind it, is just trying to we want to put coaches in contact with vendors who they know and they trust. They're going to get the work done on time, and it's going to be what they said they were going to do. So, you got anybody that you just love to work with?
Vendors are at the mercy of their suppliers, and
oh, yeah.
so when you can find a vendor that is reliable and they've got a reliable supplier, then that's key. And Mickey McMurtrey, you can call him up at any time, and he's going to have whatever you need within days, and he's going to hand deliver, and he's going to be there when he says he's going to be there, and he's going to deliver what he says he's going to deliver. So Mickey McMurtrey, who was the baseball coach here at Lassiter for 17 years, and he's in the Hall of Fame baseball. So that's his business now. So he knows what coaches go through. He knows what coaches need, and he can come look at your field and let you know what you need, what kind of turfus or what kind of supplies that you need to get your field in good shape.
And I'll tell you this, and I actually told you this beforehand, Coach McMurtrey is not on the website. Well, sorry, he's on the website. He is not on social media. He doesn't have his own website. The only place you'll probably find him is on Coach Dooley's list.
that and word of mouth. If you need his number, just call around. Somebody's going to have his number.
Oh, yeah, and he was the #1 referral from coaches. When I got 600 referrals, 25 of them were coaches taking the time to say, call Coach McMurtrey for all your field needs.
That's Coach Mick.
And
yes,
that is awesome. So, well, Coach, listen, we appreciate you. I know you got to get back to your field work, but thank you for your time with us. I think it'll be valuable for everybody to watch. So,
thank you.
Have a good one.
Glad to have you here.
One take, always good.
Right.
So, now the key is I hope it recorded. Still recording.